Hi guys, I'm Nick Robinson. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about dark academia, the aesthetic that's been taking over social media since quarantine began. In this video we're going to be talking about what it is, where it came from, its influences, who it's for, and how to participate. So what is dark academia? Dark academia is a subculture that started originally on Tumblr in the 2010s, but has since grown and gone over to Instagram and TikTok. The way I like to explain it is if cottagecore, goth, and the 1950s had a fashion baby, and also a personality baby, and dark academia and all of its variations, that's it. That's the child between these three things. There's a lot of reading, there's a lot of poetry and books, there's classical music, and fashion is based around, again, 1940s, 50s era fashion, sometimes further back, as well as an influence based on school uniforms. We're talking European boarding school. Since schools closed down due to COVID in about February to March to now, and if you have a good governor, all the way through first semester, if not further, along with cottagecore and the dark academia adjacents, kind of blew up, specifically on TikTok, but it also leaked over to Instagram, where people are able to express this love for learning and this fashion sense without people judging them, because if students tend to judge people for being good students and also dressing like you're a student from the 1950s. Personally, I don't see an issue with it. I enjoy it. I've loved it since like 5th grade, but I didn't know there was a word for it back then. And as I've mentioned before, there are a bunch of variations within dark academia, including light academia and a few others, all of which are more specified based on certain interests, like theater, art, and music. Dark academia is also related to cottagecore, which people who like one tend to flip-flop between the two, depending on either their interests or what season it is. Dark academia has a lot of long coats, a lot of slacks, a lot of long shirts. You can't wear that in like 90-degree heat. You're gonna die. So you're gonna want to like switch over to something lighter, flowier, like cottagecore. And I can explain cottagecore in more detail in another video. So where did it come from? Like I said, dark academia started on Tumblr, and it's different now than it was back then. However, some elements have trickled over into a variation of modern dark academia. It started with your standard, what you'd expect from a 2010 Tumblr kid, like a little bit emo/goth with sepia, black and white, and dark turquoise filter from the Twilight movies. That. It was mainly book recommendations, some like architecture photos like of old buildings and stuff like that. And we still have those, but it's different now. Then recently, in light of the plague, it's been picked up by things like mainly TikTok, but also Instagram and Pinterest. I'm going to be focusing on TikTok and Instagram. On TikTok, there are a lot of get ready with me's for people that are like getting ready for the day, what they're wearing, how they're doing their makeup, things like that. With these girls who would like to write poetry, short stories, I'm probably going to put poetry and short stories on mine, or just to keep it in your room for aesthetic purposes. There's no harm in that. There are also tutorials for quill pens. There are a lot of quill pens, a lot of fountain pens, a lot of calligraphy, but it's not like a main focus, it's just a given. And there are also character cosplays. Well, cosplays, there aren't really cosplays considering they're mainly based off of books where there aren't movies for these books. They're kind of just going based off of what you would think the character looks like if there isn't a very in-depth description of them in the book, or just going on what they say in the book. For example, like characters in Jane Austen novels. People tend to do characters from her a lot. On Instagram there's a lot of outfit inspo, movie screen caps, like little pictures from movies and stuff. Black and white, or black and white adjacent, where it's got black and white plus a bit of sepia and some gray on it, with like the little staticky dots on it, and like the classical music playing in the background. It's awesome. There are also some bedroom shots or dorm room shots where people like show what their room looks like based on their aesthetic, and there are also people's book collections. To anyone that has a book collection and puts it on Instagram, I envy you. Y'all have so many books, heavy books. How do you even do that? Because y'all are sitting there reading things like War and Peace. Mind you, War and Peace is like this thick. This thick. War and Peace is probably longer than the Bible. War and Peace is probably the length of, if not longer than the Bible. How do you read, let alone carry that? I had to listen to the musical in order to figure it out. I don't have time or energy to sit there and just read War and Peace. You don't... Who Props to you, because you have patience that I do not have. Next are the influences, but in order to understand the influences, you have to understand the variations within dark academia. There are a lot of variations though, so I'm only going to explain a few. First is your standard dark academia. It has a emphasis on the pursuit of knowledge and self-discovery. It's the sort of fantasy of living in a book, kind of. Like living in a 1950s boarding school or an Ivy League and things like that. Have main character energy. And that's honestly probably the fun part, since it's a bunch of us acting like we're main character potential when we're probably all side characters. But some of the variations of dark academia include classic, darkest, and light. Classic academia is a combination of everything within the academia variations. It's got stuff from the romance section, the theater, the music. It's got some darkest input, it's got some light input, it's got a lot going on. There's also darkest academia, which is closer to Tumblr. Like Tumblr back in the day, that's essentially what it is. Now it's more long coats, a lot of black, a lot of grays, not that many patterns, a lot of solid colors, it's a bunch of turtlenecks. No one's mentioning the turtlenecks. There are a lot of turtlenecks. And it's got a darker vibe in general. People still use that black and white adjacent with the sepia in it, that thing I mentioned earlier. They use that now in darkest academia. There's also light academia, which is the same thing as standard dark academia, only the color palette changes. It's a bit softer, it's a bit cuter, it's closer to like your romance-y type, because the books we read are closer to romance era of literature. Like romance is heavily focused on that. Light academia is like that adjacent. Like, oh, we like your color palette, so we're gonna steal that for a bit while we talk about dark academia standard. Now that we're aware of a few variations, we can talk about the various influences that created these. Like I said, it's a passion for learning and the arts. Things like old books, old movies, new movies that are based in old times, same with books. And you can take influence from nearly anything. But some specific ones are time periods. Again, we've got 1940s, 1950s for fashion. Every now and then though, we go a lot further back, say like Victorian, sometimes even Edwardian periods. We also have, again, books, lots of books, War and Peace, Jane Austen novels. We have a lot of movies, and we also take a lot of inspiration from writers, since we ourselves are also writers. It's something we find joy in, therefore we do it. This aesthetic isn't just pretty pictures and cool clothes, it's a pursuit of happiness, essentially. So who is this for? I will say, there is a lack of diversity in dark academia. Also, the name dark academia doesn't have to do with race. I felt like it would make sense to make that distinction. People tend to assume dark light with skin tone. This has nothing to do with it. But there is a lack of diversity in this aesthetic, which is why I, as a black person, as a person of color, want to talk about it, because it's something that anyone can enjoy, but there aren't a lot of black people enjoying it, and I know people that would enjoy it as people of color. We need to see more people of color in this aesthetic because it's for everyone. And also, not only is it for anyone race-wise or gender-wise, it's also very cost-effective compared to cottagecore. Not only is it expensive money-wise to be able to buy and keep all of these plants, it's also very time-consuming to sit there and constantly wait for hours for bread dough to rise and to like make pretty like hand sew all your cute little dresses. No, because why spend so much money on something that's supposed to make you happy? Why don't do something that's gonna make you worry about money? That's why we flip-flop from time to time. People have to save money to get into cottagecore. For us, we just go to thrift stores. But with that, it's how you can get involved. In the title, it says the aesthetic for smart people. It's not hard to be smart. It's not. We read books and wear blazers and sweater vests. I personally have been analyzing Edgar Allan Poe stuff since 5th grade. My teacher let us read Edgar Allan Poe in 5th grade, also Shakespeare. It's not hard, it's easy, it's relatively easy. It's not expensive, time-wise or money-wise. We just read books. Books aren't that expensive if you look in the right places. So, it's relatively easy compared to cottagecore. So how do you participate? Something that people see from the outside without really, like, going through everything is the fashion. It's the 1950s, 40s, sometimes Victorian Edwardian fashion that is based around boarding school things. You don't need to go to a uniform store to buy clothes like this. In fact, most uniform stores probably don't carry stuff like this anymore, now that I think about it. Go to a thrift store. Even though COVID's happening, stores are open. Personally don't think they should be open, but they are. If you want to go in person, wear a mask, use some hand sanitizer, go in, only go to the sections you need to. I suggest for slacks, blazers, and belts, I suggest the men's section because they tend to be higher quality. For blouses, go wherever, and shoes, do what you want. You want to make sure you're using some hand sanitizer before you go in, and when you come out, make sure you don't touch your face, make sure you're wearing your mask. Just make sure you're taking your general safety precautions when you're venturing out in general, but also when you're going to thrift stores. They're supposed to wash the clothes when they get them, like the store itself. However, wash them when you get home, make sure they're nice and clean, then you can wear them and take your cute little pictures. Get some books. We get them off Amazon, thrift stores again. Online thrift stores are a great solution for all of this, basically, because we shouldn't be going outside during the plague. The plague is happening. Stay home. You can also watch some TV, some movies, some anime. This isn't hard. There are a lot of stuff on Netflix, Hulu, pirating websites. Just watch something. It's one of the easiest ways to get into this. Just wear some cute clothes and watch some stuff. It's fun, and that's what this is about. It's about having fun and inspiring yourself to create things. And it's great. It's a wonderful thing, and it's honestly quite beautiful. So yeah, try it. Take some pictures, read some books, watch some TV. Thanks for watching this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and also ring the little bell icon. That way you're able to get every notification for the new videos I post. Thanks for watching this video. Bye-bye!